Hey everyone, welcome back to Accidental Entrepreneur by Ruban. In this month articles, I've been talking about financial foundations. In last three articles, I talked about how these definitions come from academic as well as from articles. In today's article, I am talking about how those principles can be applied in real world, mainly in startup. In startup world, you need to be able to manage finance very carefully and able to apply those principles while managing people and motivating them. There are three areas there. The first one is managing the finances internally with the team members as well as all the people who work for you. The second one is the partners. You had to work with them to get tools and various aspect of it outside the company. The third one is when you go to production, you need to be able to have money there as well as manage how to go and get best out of that during the production. So in this article, I will talk about these three things. First and foremost part of it is managing internal cost. If you look at it, mainly at startups, first couple of years, you will be building product. For that, you will be hiring people and you will be paying money, but there is no revenue. So you have to be able to manage the money as much as you can carry the project to go to production. So you need to be make sure you hire the right people. For that, we apply a couple of principles. First one is no pain, no gain. So you hire people who resonate with your idea and your vision, and they are willing to sacrifice something, mainly in the cash side of it, for other compensation factors, as well as the experience they gain at the early stage, helping define the product as well as executing the product while there is no infrastructure in place. That gives them a lot of learnings. So you need to be able to go and find people who are willing to come, sacrifice themselves, and be part of the core team. The second one is salary versus equity. So these people come in and they may be making good money outside in a big company. So since they are getting this experience and they are willing to come with it, you want to make sure they are willing to take some pay cut. But on the other hand, they don't give out everything, but you give them, compensate them in a good equity level. When the company succeeds, it goes, they make good money. For example, in my first company, all my first about 8 to 10 employees were able to make close to $1 million, even though they were fresh graduate or within 5 years of experience, because we gave them a good equity versus giving them salary. The third one is you want to make sure you don't make a mistake of hiring people who are negotiating hard to get higher salaries. These are the people, as the time goes, they become part of the core team. They are working hard and they will be asking for more money and holding you hostages for to get more money. And that point, you can't let them go. You will have to pay money. But if you pay the money to them, you have to pay others more, or you will run out of the money in a short term. So you need to make sure you hire the right people and negotiate with them well, and give them good equity. When you are successful and the company is successful, they make good money too. The second item is the vendor relationship. So when you are building a product, a company, there are tools as well as partnership you have to build with outside vendors. Most of the people are not there with you and they don't get equity in the company. So you need to be making sure they are compensated well for their work. But as a startup, you don't have a lot of money to give it to them. Some of the product in hardware engineering, it can be many $100,000 to millions of dollars. So how do you manage that relationship? First one is I try to I build relationship before starting a company. That way, when you start, you being honest with them, get some free trials. So for 3 months, 6 months, that's a tough time because you are still raising money, getting some small amount of money from family and friends, and you are starting. So you want to get tools. You don't want to pay a lot of money early, so then you want to get some free trials. And the second one is, once you pass that free trial period, you need to be able to pay buy tools from these vendors. So one of the scheme I followed is a need based model. So you don't buy a tool and for a 1 year, because sometime for 3 months you will be using these tools at peak, and other time you won't use as much. So you find a way of negotiating with them is in a need based model. So where you pay the whole amount, but some of the time every month you can buy more or less, and that way when you need it you get a higher number of licenses. When you don't need it, you don't take anything. So overall you are still paying them the same amount, but you get that advantage rather than keeping these licenses idle. And then the third one is, make sure when you're working with these vendors, they want to publicize their tool, what are the benefits of the tools. So I work with them to write some articles, write some recommendation or referrals for them, being referrals for them. By doing that, they get more customers, and they are willing to give you some discount for these kind of thing. So try to reach out to them and find out if you can help with them in some article or a recommendation. And the fourth one is an interesting one. It is more of a contract negotiation wise. So when you buy these licenses, maybe say it's $100,000, and you pay $10,000 or $20,000 up front, and towards the end of the contract you pay $70,000-$80,000. So that way you extend your money you have in the bank, as well as if you hit a good milestone, you may be able to raise more money. So when you had to pay this large sum at the end, you will be able to manage it well. So just make sure you follow some of these hacks with external vendors. The final hack is, now you have built the product, you hire the right team. Now you have to go to market. Most of the people not most, but a lot of people run out of money when they are ready to go to market, or when they are ready to go to production of the product, because there is some amount of money needed, and you may have to build it. When you are in a hardware business or even the software business, you have to be able to support and go to market and advertise this product. So a lot of people miss that. So you need to make sure first leave some money for that phase of the development, and then you make sure when you're choosing the manufacturing house or the go to market place, how do you manage that? I call it an opportunity cost. So sometimes you may have to do some of the product in a local high cost environment because you need to get to the customers quickly, as well as when there are some of the changes have to be done, it can be done quickly and get to market. And you may lose some money there. But in longer term, you want to have some vendors who can, when this product goes into high volume, you can take it to a low cost area. So by partnering with right people, you will be able to pay extra at the beginning, but when it goes to higher volume, you will be able to manage that one. So another aspect of the production line is, you may be able to, mainly in the hardware as well as in the silicon chip development, you may be able to share early level of production with other vendors, other customers. So just make sure when you discuss with these people, because this chip development can be in millions of dollars. By sharing with another 2 or 3 customers, your cost become 1/4 of it. So you want to find those kind of optimal way at the early stage until you go and get customers to sign up for a higher volume. You can partner with these people to share the cost and share the pain. The fourth one in this one is automation. So as I said, we need to hire people, we need to hire the tools, and then we have to go to market with this product. But automation is so critical, because if you think about it, say I was able to build these complex product with 15 to 20 people versus my competition was doing with 200 people. It is not that I was too smart, but I was able to automate a lot of the activities people have to do. That way, it reduces the number of head count, as well as it reduces the errors, human introduced errors in this process. So by doing these four things, you will be able to reduce the cost at the production level. So in today's article, I am going to leave you with three key points. First one is hire right people with right mindset. As I said, make sure you hire those people who don't hawk a lot of money, as well as you want to give them, when you are successful, they are successful. Second one is build partnership for long term. So that way, you can pay some money up front or get even free trial. But when you raise more money or when you are successful, you share the wealth with them. The third one is leave money for final production. Again, this is the most key item of it. I've seen many Silicon Valley startups miss that part of it because they don't keep money for going to go to market, launching the product, and building, and stocking some of those products. And they have so much great idea. They have built with a nice team, and they run out of money and they don't get funded. So just make sure you follow these three principles, and I think you will be successful. Talk to you next week.